Good morning, radio listeners. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is the Friday edition of the Morning Buzz, and I'm Liza Gallagher, joined in the virtual studio by
Jake Getz.
and our newscaster
Anna Broadhead.
and our sportscaster.
Cameron Martin.
Awesome. Yeah, how are you guys feeling in the virtual studio today? I always like to check in with y'all.
Feeling pretty good. I got my coffee.
Get your coffee? Nice.
Looks like it's gonna be a sunny day, so big improvements from the terrible weather that it's been this past week.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
seriously, yesterday was so dreary.
It was
I
like
got my
Yeah.
orange juice. So I'm pretty excited to
Nice.
that.
I love the shades.
Thank you.
That like totally makes the vibe.
Yeah, why are you wearing shades indoors real quick? Just
Hey,
It's my style. It's the way I see
Yeah.
it.
okay, I'll try not I won't hurt your style. I respect you, Cam. You gotta do what you gotta do. Well, anyways, Jake, what are we talking about today on our show?
today we are going to be discussing the U.S. approaching 100 million vaccines administered. An asteroid is coming our way. How close will it get?
Very
That's a big
spooky.
one.
Very spooky.
The House passes the Dream Act. What's
Lovely.
that?
I
Day to
guess we'll
find
find
out.
out.
Yeah.
And Anna, how about you take it away with your lovely newscast?
All right, good morning, Buzz listeners. This is Anna Broadhead bringing you this morning's top news stories. In Washington, D.C., the Biden administration is expecting to hit their goal of having 100 million Americans vaccinated for COVID-19 by the end of the day Friday. Since the administration is planning on hitting their 100-day vaccination goal, quote, way ahead of schedule, unquote, the U.S. is finalizing plans to send a combined 4 million doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine to Mexico and Canada in the coming days. The administration wants to make clear that the first priority is vaccinating Americans, but that helping our neighbors is a key step in moving forward. In New Jersey, 19-year-old Elias Irizarry, a Montclair High School graduate and current freshman at the Citadel, was charged with storming the Capitol during the January 6th insurrection. Irizarry was seen on several photos and videos breaking through Capitol windows and walking inside the building with a metal pipe. Irizarry appeared in federal court this past Tuesday and was freed on a $25,000 bond. He is due back in court in D.C. for a hearing on March 22nd. If you've been missing theater as much as I have, you're in luck. Montclair State Theater and dance students collaborated with television production to safely put together their performance of Working, a musical where people talk about what they do all day and how they feel about what they do. The world premiere of MSU's Working will be at the Department of Theater and Dance Virtual Festival. The exact date is TBD, but you can find updates on their website if you're interested. And now for a quick weather report. It's going to be a sunny day in Montclair today. The high for the day is 44 degrees and the low is 28 degrees. Sunset will be at 7:08 p.m. tonight. That's it for today's news update. This is Anna Broadhead reporting for WMSC 90.3.
Thank you, Anna. 44 degrees after like the rainy day we had yesterday, like I'll take it,
Yeah, it's climbing back up slowly.
Slowly but surely. As long as it's a sunny day, I think it's gonna be a good day. I don't know. I
It's
love
a
sunny
Friday.
days. It's
It's
a
a good day
Friday.
already.
Yeah.
It's always good to
Gonna-
have sunny days.
What'd you say, Kim?
It's always good to have sunny days.
For sure. They definitely brighten my mood. Alrighty. So, I know we're all sick of COVID, but unfortunately, we have to talk about it. And we actually have some good news. Oh,
Well,
just kidding.
Bef-
Just kidding. Before that, I promised you, Cam, I wouldn't forget, and I'm sorry.
And we
Cam,
forgot-
take it away with your sports, guys.
All right, so yesterday the NFL has a new TV deal, and it's good to the 2033 NFL season. This deal includes network shows including ABC/ESPN, NBC, CBS, Fox, and Amazon. The deal is worth over $100 billion, and for the first time ever, for the first time since 2006, the big game is heading back to ABC. New England Patriots center David Andrews agrees to a 4-year deal. The Bears and Allen Robinson agreed to their franchise tag. The receiver will make $18 million this season. And the Bears also got rid of former All-Pro cornerback Kyle Fuller in order to save cap space. The New York Giants, the former Pro Bowl tight end, agreed to a 2-year, $16 million deal. And quarterback Deshaun Watson is in the middle of a scandal. 3 different lawsuits were filed against him this week, and the NFL will investigate those allegations. In the NHL, the Devils took on the Penguins at the Prudential Center. Jack Hughes stole the show with 2 points and gave the Devils the 3-2 win, holding the Pittsburgh rally short. The Flyers were up 3-0 going into this third period. The Islanders rallied back, but with a little over 2 minutes left to play, Oscar Lindblom hit the go-ahead to win the game. The go-ahead goal to win the game. In terms of the NBA, Donovan Mitchell and Bradley Beal had a battle in the nation's capital as the Wizards hosted the Jazz. Both of them combined for 85 points, but Beal's 43 points gave Washington the 131-122 victory. Julius Randle took over last night in the Garden with an 18-point triple-double and a last-second steal by Reggie Bullock. The Knicks were able to come away with the 94-93 victory. Young Timberwolves stars Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns combined for 83 points and a 123-119 thriller last night against the Suns. Old man LeBron James took on baby LaMelo in LA. Bron showed the rookie ball the reason why the Lakers are defending champions. Behind his 37 points, LA won 116-105. And college troops, March Madness is back. After last year's tournament has been canceled due to the ongoing pandemic, we are finally back to enjoy the greatest amateur sporting spectacle in the nation. Tip-off begins at 12:15 if you're interested. And MSU athletic news, today would have been the NJAC Women's Basketball Championship. However, COVID protocols forced the third contest between the Red Hawks and the Gothic Knights of New Jersey City to be postponed until Tuesday, March 30th. The women's basketball team will take on Kane Tuesday, March 23rd at the Panzer Athletic Center. Tomorrow, men's soccer will take on Kane at Union at 1 p.m. Women's soccer takes on Kane at Pitcher Field. Game starts at 11 a.m. And the football team will take on Wesley at Sprague Field. The game will start at 2. This is your sporting report for Friday.
Wow. Thank you, Cam. And just going back into your sportscast, did I hear you say that the New Jersey Devils won?
Yeah, they won.
Wow.
Oh, see, unfortunately, I'm a Penguins fan, so I seen it firsthand. So
that makes me happy that they won. I'm sorry your team didn't win, but are you from New Jersey, Cam?
I am from New Jersey.
Then why aren't you rooting for the Devil? I mean, okay, maybe I shouldn't ask.
So
interrogation.
Let me
explain yourself.
Let me clarify. So let me clarify this. First of all, I'm specifically from South Jersey, so you would think I would be a Flyers fan because I'm right there. But growing up, I've always been a Steelers fan, and I always had this idea that if I'm gonna like one team from a certain city, I might as well like all the teams from the city.
You're gonna commit. Yeah.
I might as well be all in for the sports city.
Okay, I can respect that. Although you're from New Jersey.
Hey, it happens.
Where's your Jersey pride, Kim? Come on, do you at least like bagels?
Oh, don't do that.
No.
Bagels, listen. I mean, I haven't. I mean, we have good bagels up here in New Jersey anyway, but like, I'm not much of a bagel person as it is.
Okay. Well, do you like pizza?
Who doesn't like pizza? We have the best pizza in the nation. Come on
Okay.
now.
See, there we go. We're fine.
Right.
No more grudge against you, Cam. We're good. We got it all sorted out. I'm not even gonna go into Park Royal Taylor here. We're not doing that today.
No,
You're
we
from
don't need to
South
go
Jersey.
there.
I'm from North Jersey. We're not doing that.
Another time for that one.
Another time. But anyways, let's dive into some COVID-19 news. Jake, take it away.
So Biden says U.S. hit 100 million virus goal on Friday. Wait, that's today. Oh man. Biden said, "I'm proud to announce that today, because this was yesterday, 58 days into our administration, we will have met our goal. Promise to unveil a new vaccination target next week, as the U.S. is on pace to have enough of the 3 currently authorized vaccines to cover the entire adult population just 10 weeks from now." The Biden administration just revealed the outlines of a plan to loan a limited number of vaccines to Canada and Mexico, as the president announced the U.S. is on the cusp of meeting this 100-day goal and is way ahead of schedule, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
This
I
is
remember we reported on this a few weeks ago, and it said the same thing. Like we're way ahead of schedule. It's just that
yeah.
now we're way closer, so now we can definitely see we're way ahead of schedule, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, very cool. It is shocking. It's funny. I don't know. It's cool that the vaccine process is going so well. Like it seems
Yeah.
like they've really mobilized and I feel like I don't know. I haven't like heard much about how that actually is happening. You know, like I don't know.
Like how they're being like distributed
Yeah,
and
like
that
the
kind of
actual
thing.
like process of how they're being distributed and like, you know,
I guess it's mostly just if you
yeah, I
qualify,
guess
you
like with
register
cars and
online
stuff.
and you
Like
make
I
an
don't know.
appointment, and it'll be interesting to witness the May 1st madness.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious as to how people are gonna, I don't know, it'd be a little chaotic on that day just because you're
Oh
eligible doesn't mean
yeah.
you're getting an appointment on May 1st. But
Oh,
you
I'm
know,
Also,
sure.
Yeah, I
also
mean, it
getting
looks like the appointments are being a little bit more streamlined because I was eligible to get the vaccine through my work.
oh awesome.
I was in group 1A actually, but it was chaos to get an appointment. I was checking for
Yeah.
almost a month every day, and I finally
Wow.
was able to secure it. But now I'm hearing like my friends who they've kind of opened up eligibility like through family members or like people you live with,
Hmm.
and they've been able to get appointments pretty easily. So I'm hoping that you know, facilities are just more well equipped to handle the large amount of people, which I think is a great thing, that are eager to get vaccinated and kind of move forward.
Hmm. Yeah, our country's definitely changed its minds about the vaccine. I think at first we were all a little skeptical. I mean, I think there are people who are still skeptical, which is fair
Yeah.
enough. You have every right to be, you know, especially given some history there. But I think most people are coming around and they are eager, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People want to be done with this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I personally, I was always skeptical about it because I always like how are they able to mass produce so many vaccines so fast? But you
Yeah.
know, now as I'm seeing more and more research, more and more science done, it's like okay, well, maybe it's not that bad of an idea. And I have people back at home who, my friends, they got vaccinated, and once I hear how they're feeling, that's gonna probably determine my status on
Yeah.
how I'll handle it.
Yeah, I know a handful of people have been vaccinated who were I think, you know, just getting a vaccine can make you a little under the weather just like naturally, but I think aside from that, the virus is more dangerous than the vaccine overall. I think we're seeing that more and more as more and more people get it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not afraid to get it like I once was, because it like you said, Kim, it just didn't make sense to me
Yeah,
how they had done it so quickly. It made me a little nervous. You know, I think before this, the quickest vaccine to come out took 4 years, and this one took less than a year. And part of that is, you know, resources and the fact that this pandemic is, you know, ongoing, and there's, you know,
Yeah.
lots
It
like
was
it's happening in the now.
yeah,
And that
yeah.
gave them, I think, more tools to work with, if that makes sense. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why it
Also,
was
I
more
don't think it's
quickly
ever been so like uh
immediate.
pressing the
Exactly.
need
It's
for
never
it,
been
you
that
know?
urgent.
Like it's like, yeah, there's a virus and we gotta deal with it. But like now it's like, oh wow, the entire world is being put on hold for us to make this little vaccine.
Yeah.
And
I was
well,
Exactly.
I don't know, I'm not
definitely
little. That was weird. But
I was
besides,
definitely quite weary at first because, like you guys are saying, it was just so fast. And I was like, I don't know how comfortable I feel with like science that has not been long term tested. But, you know, seeing my coworkers, my grandparents, like um, the leaders of the world getting this vaccine, I had more trust
Hmm.
that they wouldn't put those people in danger. And honestly,
Right.
it was not bad at all. First dose, little arm soreness. Second dose, arm soreness, and I was like a little bit tired, like as if you had a cold, but within 24 hours you are feeling a-okay and ready to breathe in fresh air, but still wear a
Aw.
mask for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. Breathe
yeah.
in the fresh air, but through the mask or two.
Yes.
I've
I
heard a
mean,
lot of
listen,
people are. Oh, sorry, Kim. What were you gonna say?
I don't like needles, so like
Oh,
that's kind of like another reason why I don't want to get vaccinated.
Oh.
don't even get me started.
I am not a fan of needles at all.
I'm not
so.
either. I'm terrified of them.
It
No,
was
I
the
don't
least
think-
painful vaccine I've ever gotten because the dose is super
That makes me
tiny.
feel a little bit better.
You
Yeah, no.
quite literally don't feel it. It was like easier than a flu vaccine, easier than like your most basic vaccine.
It's nice. Nice to eat needles.
Yes, nice to. No, yeah, needles
Right.
are
You're
not
absolutely
easy
right.
for me.
No, not at all.
It just
Like I
grosses
don't know.
me
I
out.
remember I saw a newscast on like COVID vaccinations, and they just showed somebody getting it like up close, and like
Ugh.
on their
Yeah,
arm
freaked
as
me
they're
out.
doing it. And I don't know. Normally I'm not a
can't.
squeamish person. Like I don't know, but that really that got to me. I didn't like that. Like
I'm squeaming right now, man.
yeah.
I don't think
no.
I'm a very squeamish person. Everyone who knows me knows that. Just even hearing you say that, I'm picturing it in my head, and I'm just like,
Yeah, and it was
"Ah,
like, ooh.
ah."
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
Why the extreme
Yeah,
close-up
like I
on
didn't need to
someone
see
getting
it. Like I don't know,
vaccine?
zoom out a bit, you know? There's no need for that.
I guess
Uh,
they're just trying to show it's like safe
Yeah,
or
it's a thing.
something. I don't need to
Yeah.
see that. Thank God I
No.
didn't. Oh my God.
I'm sure that yeah. I
Cam
believe
is
you.
Cam is shaking his head. He's like, this ain't
Nope.
it.
Nope.
Never a fan.
Yeah, definitely bring like some music or a book if like
Aw.
if
Oh,
or
that's a
when you
good
get your
idea.
appointment, because like I'm not afraid of needles in the slightest. I don't have problems with vaccines ever, but just like waiting in a line for like an hour,
Mm.
like your
boy.
mind starts racing a little bit.
Oh no.
And so I was like, okay, no, I need to calm myself down a little bit because I don't
Mhm.
want to like accidentally pass out just because of my anxiety after I get the vaccine, not actually because of the vaccine. I'm like, I can't
would
become a
be me.
statistic. So I just like put in my headphones, tuned it out, and then we were good.
That's good. That's good. See,
Yeah, wow,
Anna's
that's
telling
good
us to be
advice.
prepared. Now I won't, go on thinking I'll get my vaccine right away. Because, you'll make an appointment, but you'll still wait an hour.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'll bring a
Yeah.
good book.
Hopefully the weather's nice. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sorry, what'd you say, Cam?
Hopefully that the weather is nice that day when I make when I
Oh,
have
yeah.
to wait.
Just look at the clouds and
Yeah,
the-
wait, Anna, did you have to wait in a waiting room with like other people? Or did you have to wait in your car or something? I'm just curious.
The first dose I got like kind of early February, and it was done at like a fire department, but they're like corporate building,
Okay.
so not the actual like firehouse.
Right.
And it was a pretty large building, and so they had us snaked inside the building, all like spaced out.
Oh,
And
nice.
you just like wait in the line. There's like different checkpoints to check your ID, check your appointment ID,
Right.
and then you get the vaccine. Then get put into like, this sounds awful, but it's like a corral to sit down for 15 minutes, and then you're allowed to leave. The second
Oh, no,
time
that makes
was
sense,
at the same location, but it was quite warm that day, and so they had everyone lined up outside. So
Ah,
once you got inside, the process was quite a bit more streamlined.
right.
but it was
It's
still
good they
a
had
wait.
people waiting outside, especially if it was a nice day.
Yeah.
And according to our producer Kenny Horn, we've got a fun fact about how New Jersey is projected to be one of the first states to reach herd immunity because of the vaccine, according to a vaccine distribution tracker.
Huh, that's an
And-
interesting figure.
And that's interesting because New Jersey is super dense and
Yeah.
populated and just always crowded. So that's
Wow.
interesting. But maybe that's why that we have the potential to be one of the first states to reach herd immunity because we have so many people.
Yeah, that might
I
be
don't
it.
know.
I'm not really sure. That's really interesting. I'm not really familiar about what makes a state more like, I don't know, like
Right.
work with that more.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just I don't know. I feel like a lot of factors would go into play there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And as our producer Kenny Horn explains, it's potentially as early as May or June that we could reach this herd immunity. And he says because we were infected so badly first, which makes sense. We were definitely one of the states that was the most affected, is still the most
yeah.
affected, just because we have so many people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it
And
does
so
make
close
sense.
to New York.
Yeah, exactly. So close to New York, which also was badly affected. I mean, like how Texas doesn't even wear masks anymore. Not that that's the right decision, but there are some states that I've heard like sort of more rural parts of like the more of the middle of the country where they don't worry about it as much, just as I've
Mhm.
heard from friends that I know, and they don't. I don't know. They're not as strict about masks, or they just because they have like no cases in their town. Because if it's like a small rural town, I mean, it kind of makes sense. New Jersey's
Yeah.
the exact opposite.
I know at the beginning of the vaccine distribution, West Virginia was actually like one of the states that was doing the best, which when I first heard that, not gonna lie, I was like a little bit surprised because it's very rural and, you know, a lot of, I don't want to put people in a box, but a lot of conservative people who were apprehensive of the vaccine, but it turns out they don't have a lot of chain pharmacies. They're kind of your ma and pa pharmacies. And so they trust the people. They have a lot of trust with the people they see every day. And so when these ma and pa pharmacies were given vaccines, the people trusted them. And so they were more willing to go out and get vaccinated. The figure is no longer the same. West Virginia is not still in the top, but it's good that they got out to an early lead.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty. So as dangerous as COVID-19 is, you know what's more dangerous?
What?
An asteroid.
That could be pretty bad. Like, I don't
Yes.
know. An asteroid, like, I don't know. Asteroids are just inherently scary.
I feel like every plot or at some point for like those teen TV show dramas is like an asteroid's coming. We have to hide in our shelter or something. Like I feel like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a common theme or some dramatic natural disaster type. Which I mean, yeah, they do happen, but I feel like I hear like an asteroid's coming by Earth
Yeah.
way too often in shows and stuff. But for reals though, a huge near Earth asteroid is just zipping by this
Yeah,
weekend.
it's coming in.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Giant
this
asteroid. Wait, do you want to read it? Or should I?
I'll take a spin at it.
Yeah, go for it.
A giant asteroid, believed to be as wide as the Empire State Building's height, will be zipping toward Earth this weekend on Sunday, March 21st, 2 days from now, just in case you forgot today's Friday. Experts say there's no reason to freak out, even though it's technically classified as, quote, a potentially hazardous asteroid, unquote. Officials from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory said in a statement issued earlier this month, quote, there is no threat of a collision with our planet now or for centuries to come, end quote. The rock won't come closer than 1.25 million miles, which sounds very far.
Yeah.
But in astronomical measurements, that's considered a close call. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know what astrologers or astronomers. Those are two very different things. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. So it'll come close for in terms of like astronomical measurements, but experts are saying it's not an actual threat. And since it is coming so close, I bet you're wondering the same thing as me when I first saw this story is where can I see it? And unfortunately from New Jersey, it'll be really, really tough to actually see. If you're living in the southern hemisphere of the world, it'll be a lot easier to see. But specifically from New Jersey, you would need like an 8-inch diameter telescope or larger to see it at all. And you'd probably need to be in a certain area. If you do happen to have an 8-inch diameter telescope, your best bet is to look for it Sunday 3 a.m. So even though it's coming earlier, that is technically when it's the best time to actually physically see it in our area. So if you got a telescope, I guess you can go out and watch the asteroid just zip on by. And if you don't have a telescope like me, I think like most people, you can, if you would like to, you can check out the Virtual Telescope Project, which will have a live video feed online, which I think I'll be checking out because that sounds so cool. You guys have any telescopes lying around?
I
No.
think I have a tiny one. I don't
Really?
know. I remember there was one I don't know. It's like a vague memory,
Hmm.
like something that like was around when you were really young. It's probably not an 8-inch diameter one. That sounds fancy.
That
It
sounds
definitely
really
wasn't
big.
anything like that.
Yeah.
I have a toilet paper roll. Does that count?
I don't believe so. I'll have to check with NASA though.
Yeah.
I'll
talk
get
to
back
NASA
to you.
about that.
Yeah.
Hello, NASA.
Might have to dig through a costume bucket to find a little pirate costume
Oh yeah.
telescope,
Like
which
Pirates
I'm
of the
sure
Caribbean.
will. I'm
Nah,
sure it'll
but-
capture the asteroid perfectly.
The essence, yeah.
The essence of the asteroid.
Is this every science fiction show ever? An asteroid coming to Earth? Like,
I guess it's more common than I thought because this is actually
yeah,
happening.
this is like.
But it's
I
not
mean,
coming
listen.
close enough to hurt us. Where I feel like in TV shows they're like, it's gonna hit our exact
Yeah.
town in this exact spot. Like,
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
it's kind of wild to think about that. There's an asteroid that's close, quotes, air quotes,
Yeah.
close.
I mean,
But-
hey, 1.25 million miles away, and that's
That is
considered
crazy.
close.
Our producer told us that, like, for reference, like you hear 1.25 million miles, and it's like, wow, that sounds pretty far. But it's like, for reference, the moon is 240 million miles away.
Whoa.
So like,
Okay. Now I'm
like
scared.
it's funny because they say like, oh, in astronomical
Right.
like terms, but it's like, oh, okay, but like what do astronomers know? But now it's like, oh wait, now that feels really close.
So if you're in a place where you can, like in a southern hemisphere, your country where you'll be able to see it more clearly.
Hmm. You'll be
How
able to
big
see it
will
just
it,
at
like-
all. I think if you're in a certain part of the southern hemisphere, you won't need a giant telescope to look at it. I think you'd
Oh,
be able to
wow.
just see it out your window, maybe. I don't know.
If it's as wide as the Empire State Building is tall, like how big will it look like in perception to
yeah.
the sky? Like will it look like
What's it
just like
gonna
a
look
shooting
like?
star, or will it look like a rock flying through the sky?
That's a really good question. One thing that this article from NJ.com did mention is that it won't be like bright. It'll be like dark. Like it'll be like kind of hard to see in a way because I mean it is a giant rock, but it won't like twinkle like a star like I guess in those like science fiction movies and like how it looks
Yeah,
like
like a
magical or
comet.
whatever. Like it'll be really dark and hard to see. I think even if you're in a place where it's easier to see. So
Huh. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it's not like an asteroid or anything with like a tail,
yeah.
like Sozin's comet or like whatever.
Yeah. I'm trying to picture how large it would be like if it was on our campus, like does
Oh,
that even make sense?
man.
For like reference, like how big would it be if it was just like I don't know, on our football field? Like I don't know, am I insane?
I don't know. I don't know the scale, but I'm pretty sure they described it in the article as like Earth-sized.
Earth size.
Earth
Wait,
size?
which I don't know if
that's
that's right.
Wait, whoa, we need to check that.
Yeah,
Hold on.
That's kind of something else.
Wait, no, I don't think I saw it in the NJ.com article. There was the Space.com article that it cited.
So it's not
Hmm.
like perfectly round, because if it's Empire State Building, if
With
it's an Empire State Building wide, then is it just going to be like a cylindrical
In-
flying rock?
In this NJ.com article, it does have a picture of it.
Oh, does
And
it?
it's not like a perfect circle. I mean, it's I mean, I don't know. It just
this.
looks like a giant rock. Like
Wait, is
I
that
don't know
the
how else to
asteroid?
describe it.
This house gonna fly around. Just gonna just fly, just casually just go across this.
Yeah,
Wow.
insane.
Do you guys think you will try to look at it on the live video feed?
mean-
Maybe after the fact.
I don't
I don't-
sleep, so I'll probably watch it.
I think I would love to watch it live and just see it right as it passes by Earth, because that seeing it in real time, like
Yeah,
That's gotta be
there must something to
Oh, yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know much about science and space, but it does jazz me up. Like it is so
No, it
interesting
is
to
really
me
cool.
because I don't understand it at all.
I think it's interesting for like, a common folk to be able to be like
Common
so
folk.
up close and personal with cool space science because we don't usually get the opportunity besides just looking at the sky.
Do you guys remember a couple of years ago when there was I think it was an eclipse of the one kind or another.
Oh
And
yeah.
you had to
Yeah.
get like special glasses to view it. I remember going outside and well, one, I didn't get the special glasses, so I was literally like blinded by the light. And then my neighbor gave me some and it was really cool. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
I don't think I
it was
did.
it was I want to say 5 years ago? No, more than
No,
that.
it wasn't
Seven.
that long.
It was
7
kinda
or 8.
recent. No, it was kind of recent.
No, it was recent. It was the like
It was like
during the Trump
2018.
administration.
was
Because
like-
I
Oh, I'm
remember
thinking
he
of
was
the
looking
other
at-
one.
was like
No, I'm
another
thinking of a
one?
later one. I didn't view the more recent one.
It was like 2018, like 2017, 2018,
Yeah,
around
something like
around
that.
time.
2017, according to our producer.
Huh. Either there was 2 that I remember, or I'm just like totally not remembering time right.
There was-
Mandela effect.
I think there was another one, like
Oh.
little ways ago, but that's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I remember there being one when I was in middle school. I
That
think.
that one was smaller. That was much
Uh-huh.
smaller scale. I remember that. It was a smaller scale compared to 2017's.
Wow.
I think 20 the one back like 2015, 2014. I think that one was more of a partial solar eclipse, and
Yeah. Yeah.
this one was a past one. 2017 was a total solar eclipse,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
It's really fascinating. I don't know. I'm so easily amused by space things because I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Like why they're I don't know.
Listen,
Like eclipses, asteroids,
it's
the
it's
moon.
Like, it's one of those things that like it's kind of like why I enjoy science because
Mhm.
there's just so much to uncover.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's so much always to discover with science too.
hmm
It's just like never ending. Like we'll
Yeah.
never not like we'll never figure out the entire depths of the world, but like there's so much Earth to discover and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Even-
still
It's a
discovering.
big
beyond.
rock.
Yeah.
very
Why
big
not?
rock.
Why not live through another historical event?
Yeah.
Oh,
That'd be
Add it
pretty
to our
sick.
list.
Anna, no.
Yeah. Global
is it.
pandemic
No,
was
one and
enough.
done.
Not that
I
the
need more
asteroid would
history.
hit Earth.
Yeah.
Not that it would hit Earth, but just that we can see it from a safe distance.
That would be pretty
from
crazy
Earth.
living through, like, I don't know, an asteroid hitting Earth. Like,
I'm okay with just
or I
living
guess
through
maybe
Hitting
not
Earth?
living.
living through the pandemic is enough for me.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
good with that.
I'm okay with that
I
one not
I
being
could tell
on my
that to my
list.
grandkids. I don't
Oh,
need
yeah.
to tell them about,
True.
when the
We used-
asteroid hit.
We used to do school for Zoom and we wore masks.
They're probably gonna
It's
do that in
it's
the
gonna be
future.
entertaining. I'm actually quite excited for those moments in my life. Telling about the
Ooh-wee.
pandemic.
Ooh.
Well, anyways, we're gonna take a little bit of a break on the morning buzz. And if you just tuned in or you just woke up, you've been listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Welcome back to the morning buzz. You've been listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is, of course, the Friday edition of the morning buzz. And I'm your host, Leslie Gallagher, joined by my co-host.
Jake Getz.
You were on mute there for a second, weren't
Yeah,
you?
I know. It was tough.
Gotta wake up. Come on, Jake, let's go. And we're also joined by our newscaster
Anna Broadhead.
and our sportscaster.
Cameron Martin.
Lovely, lovely day in the virtual studio.
Yeah.
And
Or
we
at
were
least as
just-
far as I could tell, I haven't looked outside yet.
I took a walk outside just to get here today, and it was, I don't know, not bad. Beautiful
Yeah.
sunrise as usual.
It's outside.
Jake, if
No
you-
hurricanes.
Jake,
No-
if you see my
no
face
asteroids.
right now, this is literally
Oh yeah, it
sun.
looks like there's some sunlight coming on you.
And I have the blinds up, so well,
Oh,
blinds
wow.
down. So it's very bright today.
Yeah.
Nice.
Partially as well with the shades.
Part of what's nice about I don't know, doing this show is that I do get to walk here and I do see the sunrise, and it's just
Aw.
it makes me so happy. It's just so pretty. The sun rising over our campus. I don't know.
Yeah, no, mornings are so like beautiful. Like I don't know, sometimes I
Mm.
wake up and I don't even see the sun. Like,
Yeah.
and it's funny. You think that'd be like motivation to get me to wake up early, but like unless like there's a reason, like
I've tried to be like, oh, I want to watch the sunrise every morning and get up early, and I can't get myself to do that. If I don't need to be up early, I don't think I will. I mean, even though the sunrises are beautiful, I probably should. But here's the thing: is if you're a night owl, you'll always see the sun set. So
Yeah, that's pretty too.
Yeah.
it's very pretty.
So, you know, pick your battles.
And this just in, our producer Kenny Horn has never seen the sunrise, and
I did
like
double take when I saw him say that. I was like, wait,
what? How?
Have you never pulled an all-nighter before?
I never pulled an all-nighter
Yeah.
No,
to the
forget
point where you
that.
see the sunrise.
Wait, forget that. Have you never lived in college? Have you never had a college experience?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or I feel
Kenny,
like
what the heck?
Even
Come on,
driving to
Kenny.
high school every morning in the winter,
Yeah, did you
I
Yeah.
would
Yeah, like
I
how
would
do you
see
not see
the-
that?
like I would be in like first period gym class, like running a lap, and the sun's like just barely starting to rise.
God,
I feel
yeah,
like I saw
'cause-
that all the
Are
time.
you a vampire?
What time did you get to school?
I think Kenny's a vampire.
Yeah, I
started
remember
at
like going to
7:30.
school and like the sun would rise like either in like first period or when you were on the bus or in your car,
Yeah.
Usually on the bus.
to the point where it'd blind you and you
Yeah,
couldn't see where
definitely.
you were driving. Kenny, we're gonna
Um,
have a talk later about your
Yeah.
lack of sunrise experience, because it is truly beautiful to see in person. I think photographs are beautiful of it too, but like seeing a sunrise in person, like
The photograph doesn't do it justice. It doesn't do it
No.
justice.
seeing
I
it actually
dislike
rise, it's
taking pictures of sunrises.
yeah, I guess they're a little typical. I mean,
Yeah,
they
you
are
know.
beautiful, but it's a sight to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kenny,
I'm
your
definitely
homework
not
for
a-
tomorrow is to
Yeah. Watch the
You're-
sunset.
watch the sunrise.
All right. No, not that one. Okay.
Yeah.
He's-
Actually,
I mean, it's
Kenny,
hard when you're not a morning person, but it is.
Yeah,
I would say a sunrise is more peaceful than a sunset because it's so
Nice.
quiet.
true.
Kenny's telling us to move to the story because he wants us to stop bullying him.
Sorry, Kenny.
Kenny's tired of us.
See the
Well,
sunrise.
Anyways, as we get more and more off topic on the Friday Buzz as usual, we're gonna head into our next story. Jake, would you take it away for us, please?
Yes. After Georgia attacks, Asian Americans demand serious actions on bias. This is coming from the New York Times. For most of last year, Asian Americans have sounded the alarm over the rising discrimination they have experienced and witnessed, fueled in part by racist language and false claims about the coronavirus by former President Donald Trump and other public officials. And now, I'm sure it was covered on yesterday's Buzz, the fatal shootings in Georgia of 8 people, 6 of them women of Asian descent. Some scholars and activists said Tuesday's massacre was unsurprising after public officials and popular culture have for years downplayed the dangers of bias and stereotypes against Asian people. Law enforcement officials in Georgia seem to dismiss racial animus as a motive in the shootings, even, despite the fact that, I don't know, it seems like...
There's literally so much racial bias. I mean,
yeah.
from what I've read about, this particular shooting, I mean, the person, I don't know his name, and honestly, if I knew it, I wouldn't say it because
Yeah,
I
no.
want him to get media attention anyway, but the shooter literally was targeting women of color, Asian women,
Yeah.
specifically because he was going into
Yeah, he knew where he was going.
like
He knew what
spas.
he was, and he went to separate locations.
yeah, he
Each
went
one,
to 3, I believe,
yeah,
to 3 different salon type places where typically mostly women go, and clearly targeting them
Yeah.
very specifically. It was no accident that 6 out of the 8 people wounded were Asian women.
yeah.
That's clearly racial bias. I mean, I don't know how to make it any simpler for someone who does not understand.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw, it was, I believe, a press briefing yesterday with
Yes.
a police chief,
Mm-hmm.
and he was quoted as saying that the shooter was just having a bad day.
Oh my god,
And,
yeah.
No, that was
all of his
insane.
emotions just built up and popped. And I was like,
Mhm.
guess who's
That-
having a really bad day?
Yeah,
the
that was-
families of the
Ugh.
people that
Literally.
he killed. There's there's no reason to even bring that up. He killed people Point
That's
blank,
not
period.
that's not a
That
normal
was
response to
so
a bad
weird.
day, and it's not excusable. I can see if that was said like, oh, he was having a bad day, like uh, then I don't know, go
It-
take a nap or something, or
Yeah.
go play with your dog. I don't know.
It's one of those things that's it's unjustifiable. You can't justify that at all.
Absolutely.
And for everyone down in Atlanta that is affected by it, my deepest condolences and all my prayers are going out to you guys.
Absolutely.
It's just another example of how America is divided. We're supposed to be a nation that unites everybody, yet we still have issues like this. Having people of Asian descent being targeted for something that's our former president said was their fault, but it's just like one of those things that we're all in this together. So why are we going to put the blame on certain people?
Right.
It's kind of aligning to what I don't want to say this, but what Adolf Hitler was like when he first took over Germany.
Absolutely.
It's just absolutely devastating and disgusting to see how people are treating other human beings, not just American people, other human beings. It's just it's sad to see.
Absolutely. And it's like that bias is always been there for since even like the beginning of America's time, when Christopher Columbus found this land, found in quotes because he didn't actually find it. Other people were here first. It started right back then, and all of these biases about other races and other countries. And having our former president Donald Trump say even like these little comments that to gonna call it my own people here, white people think is harmless. It is harmful, even though if it's a small comment that doesn't seem like it would hurt anyone, because it escalates to pushing that agenda of that other races are inferior. And it's just, we don't need that. We don't need any of that, because comments lead to action, and then this is what happens.
Can and have.
Yeah, it's definitely been like weird, because over the past few months there have been incidents that have popped up, especially of elderly Asian people being attacked, which to me is like it's not okay to attack anyone, but especially people who don't even have the opportunity to defend themselves. It's like, what has like an elderly person done to you? And then they're happening in major cities like LA, Houston, Atlanta, New York, and some of those places I'm a little bit surprised at, because they're so culturally diverse and so known for being welcoming of cultures. That's how the cities get their character. And it's just crazy to see that people are being attacked for quite literally no reason besides their race.
Yeah.
What do you gain from that? What do you naturally gain for attacking someone of race? Like, the only thing you get
crimes.
The only thing that you get is just being labeled a racist and just all these other things that will come to you, because it's just like there's no gain and you have everything to lose.
I think it is. It's so twisted that there's
no rational progression to it. There's no thought. It's all just a gut feeling. There's no I don't know.
I think it's literally that these, white people think that they're superior, and they're not. We're not.
Yeah.
I am white, fully, and I hate the actions of the people who happen to share that identity. It's just, it's not it. It's unfair, and they think they're superior, and they're not. We're all equals, and we all have, the great thing about being from different cultures and different countries, we have all different things to bring to the table. It's something to celebrate, not hurt people over. Hate crimes in America, they need to be stopped. Something I'm very emotional about, trying to keep my cool, but it's just it's just dangerous.
Yeah
Absolutely. I guess what we I hate being like, oh, we can learn from this, because it shouldn't get to this point. But if you do,
it's too many examples.
Exactly.
It's like we have plenty of
right.
There's so much history already. It's like
exactly. I think what we can just to take something and away anything is that your actions affect other people, and comments that you say to other people matter. You know, making racial jokes, they're not funny.
Yeah.
And comments
Mm.
and biases, stereotypes, just it's not funny, and it's not okay. And I guess that's my PSA for the day.
Yeah. Good PSA.
Good PSA. Don't be that person. Like those old commercials, and they would play in the movie theaters where that one guy
Don't
was
be.
like eating his popcorn loudly, had
this
his
guy.
chips, his feet up. Don't be that guy.
No.
Don't be that person.
See him? That's not what you want to be.
Yeah.
It's
This
not
is
even like a don't be that guy. It's just be a decent human being.
Right.
Yeah.
Have some compassion. But I think a big problem too is these people aren't really being held accountable.
Mhm.
Like they're getting off on a pass of like had a bad day, like
Yeah, no, it's really interesting
has
the
anger
media.
issues.
Yeah. The
It's-
media narratives that are constructed, like,
Mhm.
and even like I was reading like about this in the New York Times, and they were talking about like, this in person went to church and like, they did all this, good things. And it was like, wait, like, I don't know. It was really odd to read because I was like, why should I care about this? Like, why is this
Right.
information relevant
Yeah.
to me in this story?
Mhm.
And I don't know. It's really interesting. Like, even like, maybe that stuff is true, but it's like you're creating a narrative. And
Mhm.
what are you trying to tell me with that? Like, what is that, larger thing? And even in like the way they present them in their headlines.
Oh my God, yeah, the
Yeah.
headlines. I'm sure you guys have been seeing circulating social media as like at least I have, is like the rewriting of headlines to
Yeah, the one New
show,
York Times headline.
right, like to show like the bias that's actually happening.
Yeah,
So I
just depicted it as it was just like 8 dead in a shooting in Georgia
Right.
or Atlanta, and it's like crosses out and it says 8 Asian women, or well, like it was like a hate crime targeting
Right.
Asian people.
Like
You know?
a white person does hate crime
Yeah.
towards 8 people or 6 Asian women or something like that,
Mhm.
where they just say it how it is. And as communication students who, I
Yeah.
mean, I sometimes I've taken a couple of journalism classes, although it's not really the path that I'm thinking of heading towards. I've still taken a few classes, and you're kind of taught to write headlines, and I guess what might be a thing of the future is learning to write them a different way,
Mhm.
to
Absolutely.
just get right to the point and not blaming the victims, just
Mhm.
blaming the person who had that bias.
Yeah, and calling it what it is. If it's a hate
Yeah.
crime, don't call it anything
Yeah.
else.
Exactly. A hate crime's a hate crime, and it's people make so many excuses like, oh, it just so happens that they were Asian. Like, no, it was a hate crime.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
really, I don't know. That's so like that's crazy to me. Like the
know.
amount of mental gymnastics you would have to do to kind of like say that this wasn't a hate crime is just like,
Right?
I don't know.
It's like
Yeah.
just admit that
Yeah.
just admit you're wrong at that point. Like, come on. But anyways, Jake, you wanna take it away with our next story?
Absolutely. The House votes to give millions of dreamers and farm workers a path to citizenship. The Democratic-led House voted on Thursday to create a path to citizenship for an estimated 4 million undocumented immigrants, reopening a politically charged debate over the nation's broken immigration system, just as President Biden confronts a growing surge of migrants at the border. In a nearly party-line vote of 228 to 197, the House first moved to set up a permanent legal pathway for more than 2.5 million undocumented immigrants, including those brought to the United States as children, known as Dreamers, and other granted temporary protected status for humanitarian reasons. Just 9 Republicans said yes.
Isn't this insane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, whoa, this is they're bringing in almost 4 million undocumented immigrants. I'm hearing this right? That's
2.5. Well, it's
2.5?
creating a legal pathway to citizenship for more than 2.5. That's the part that I have in front of me.
right. I feel like so many people would be mad about this, but like,
Oh yeah, no, it's a huge, it's a very big, very controversial issue.
yeah, for sure.
Though, I don't know. There's lots of data supporting that immigration is actually pretty helpful to the economy, and I think a lot of people
I think
I don't
that's
know.
what people are most worried about is like
Yeah,
jobs
no,
and economy stuff. So if there are more like studies to disprove that, then like I'm all for it. I
yeah,
I mean, I can only imagine what it's like to I was born in America and I was just
mhm,
here and these opportunities were just here and that was just my life. But imagine if I wasn't and having to fight for a family and go somewhere that's better for them. I can
mhm.
completely understand why people do that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also like kind of revealing to me how it's like, these aren't just like people who just kind of show like I don't know, for these 2.5 million people we're talking about, it's not just, random. It's just like
Right.
um people who were brought here as children, which,
Hmm.
I think entitles them to some rights. And
Right.
other people granted protected status for humanitarian reasons. So
Hmm.
it's like these are like I don't know. It's very justified in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say if we have space for people, I don't see why not.
Yeah,
If that makes sense. Like I mean giving people a
absolutely.
better life and a better opportunity to live and especially if they have children, like I don't know. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
just naive and I know it's not that simple, but like have a heart, you know?
I know.
Well,
Yeah, no human is illegal.
I think people sometimes get stuck in their ways of thinking because, the argument about they take away jobs from,
Yeah,
these hardworking Americans who got a college degree and whatnot. But if you have a degree,
yeah,
this
like
this is making assumptions, but you're probably not going to go to like a farming job
Hmm.
or,
mhm.
a minimum wage, like
You're qualified for
not
more.
full-time
Yeah.
job.
You're
Yeah, you're qualified for more.
you're
And a
not
lot of
competing with other people.
I don't know if people like realize just how many immigrants are actually being cheated out of being paid minimum wage. Like they're being
Yeah,
paid way less and they're doing insane amounts of work, which is hard labor,
Hmm.
so that you can have, fruits and vegetables at the grocery store and prices won't skyrocket.
Yeah.
So that you can have, you know, all of these little things that you don't even realize are being done by immigrants.
Back off that. This country was built off immigration as well. So people
yeah,
always say
Yeah.
that, why should we lie to the men? Because the same people that we were the same people that were let in when we got off the boat to Ellis Island, when we got hit the coast. Like we're the same people that got in through that. So if you have an issue with this is me going off on a tangent.
no, go for it.
If you have an issue about people being immigrants coming into your nation, you had ancestors, your descendants were the same exact people that were immigrants many moons ago.
Hmm.
And
Not
I
that many.
personally don't see an issue with it. Giving people an opportunity, that's something that not everyone has. If you are given an opportunity to make something of your life, it's just something that you'll take advantage of every opportunity that you're given. You can't pass up an opportunity and just you can't deny people opportunities because at the end of the day, what if you're in their shoes? You want the same opportunities as they will want you want the same opportunities as them.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And another thing I wanted to, I guess, kind of clarify, you said like, many moons ago, like, it was, other people's ancestors coming. And it's like not that many moons ago,
Yeah.
True.
it's like, like a lot of people came here like, I don't know, two generations or one
Mhm.
generation or just like, not
Right.
long at all by like, compared to, people in Europe who have, families going back there for like centuries.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm like third generation on one side and fourth on the other.
Mhm.
Like my
I think I'm
grandparents are,
second.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I think.
See, it's not that long ago for so
Maybe
many
third.
people.
Yeah, and even like third and fourth not that much in the grand scheme of things.
It's really not.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
really
when people say, you know, this is kind of flashing back to like the topic of hate crimes, but
yeah.
when people tell really any people of color and especially immigrants, like, you know, we're in America, you speak English here, go back to your country. It's like, well, you can go back to your country too, because the people that are on this land truly are the natives who are also being treated horribly. And so no one has like the basis or the right to be like, this is my land, besides natives. And so it's just amazing to see how entitled people can feel based on their race and you know, their economic status or the power they feel they hold over other people.
It's so true. Absolutely. Well, to close out the show with some good news and some good vibes of people being kind to each other, I will read you the story from the goodnewsnetwork.org. So apparently every Christmas season, delivery drivers can, you know, they're always slammed with packages and such. There is this town in Pennsylvania called Dauphin, I'm not sure how to say that, but this year they surprised a UPS driver who they deemed essential, and they gave him, I believe, $1,000 to just thank him for delivering their packages during the pandemic. And especially when, I don't know about you guys, but I think a lot of people ordered stuff even more during the pandemic. Like if it was just even more like groceries and just more stuff, and people were buying things because, you know, it's a stress reliever. So it was really nice that the people in Pennsylvania gave this UPS driver a little bit back. Humanity is real. People do have hearts. I know our last two stories were quite huge dampers on the show, but it is the news and it is what's happening. But never forget, there are good people out there. And I think we'll close out with that. This has been the Friday edition of the Morning Buzz. You've been listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and I'm your host, Leslie Gallagher, joined by my co-host, Jake Getz. Our newscaster,
Anna Broadhead.
And our sportscaster,
Cameron Martin.
And we hope you have a good weekend.